I will say that running a dating site just broadly breeds a certain amount of cynicism in a person, so I can't say I was shocked exactly. OkCupid is a dating site. There's no reason for you ever to have heard of it if you've been married for 10 years or you have a special kind of marriage. What we get on OkCupid is basically the data of the first impression. The grist of it, the things that we have to kind of grind out findings from is just huge tables. Imagine like a text file that never ends. That's basically what these databases are. It's like a social science experiment in that you get findings that would seem like they're from a social science experiment because you find out how many people say they believe in God and do or don't believe in the death penalty or have sex on the first date, any of this kind of crap. Because dating is so personal, you get more of the person in the data. So we have this very old school vibe where we ask you questions about yourself that you long answer. I think the question is literally asking you for a self-summary, what you like to do on Friday night, what your favorite movies are, the first thing people notice about you, these kind of sort of open-ended text things that you don't really see that much on the internet anymore. And then you look at the words that are kind of most unique to any of these groups, white women or Latino guys or whatever. And you can get pretty interesting stuff by distilling it down along those lines. You find kind of the hardest core cliches that you can imagine. So this is what the algorithm spit out for all of the 4 ethnicities and the 2 sexes, It's so perfectly stereotypical. It's something out of a Saturday Night Live sketch almost, For white dudes, you get stuff like hunting and fishing, blue eyes, blonde hair, red hair. For black dudes, you get dreads. You get, neo soul and Jamie Foxx. For Asian guys, the #1 phrase is tall for an Asian. And then you get, Taiwanese, Chinese, a kind of ethnic descriptor. People ask me a lot, what's the most exciting or surprising thing you found in the data? And the thing that I'm consistently surprised about is ironically how very stereotypical people are in aggregate. In addition to race and gender, we obviously have people's age. That's another thing that's very important in just dating in general. If a woman is 25, she thinks 25-year-old guys are the best looking. If she's 35, she thinks 35-year-old guys are the best looking. If she's 20. So there's kind of a nice parity. Up until the 40s, you do sense a kind of psychological barrier around a 40-year-old guy, for whatever that's worth. But guys basically, whether a guy is 20, whether a guy is 25, 30, 50, they think 21, 20, 22, that's just they're all super young. Those are their hottest ages. Guys will always send the hottest woman on any given page the message, which means that everybody else gets ignored and that one person gets just tons and tons of messages. So she's like, I gotta get out of here. This is ridiculous. I'm gone. And then it's the next hottest and the next. So it's a very bad cycle because then the guys don't get replies, So we're always trying to mitigate this thing here. So we measure attractiveness very actively. It kind of factors in subtly to a lot of the site, Well, I mean, the racial picture isn't the most pleasant one. I mean, it's definitely what you would expect if you're a very cynical person. So, black users get a kind of blanket, both men and women get about a 25% discount in terms of replies they get, volume of messages they get, level of rating that they get from other users. And that's from not only whites, but Asians and Latinos as well. You can ask people directly, what do you think about interracial dating, and you'll almost always get a oh yeah, no, I'm totally cool with interracial dating or whatever, this kind of attitude, when they have to verbalize it. But the way they act is definitely different than that. Racial attitudes are so broad, it's not just this core of kind of racist, I guess you'd say, just kind of no, 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 and then throwing off everyone else's kind of more even-handed votes. It's pretty universal. People are vain and predictable and kind of stupid and kind of racist, but they're also very nice and smart and all the other things that are the opposite of those things. They're just very complex, and that's what I love about this data, is that you can examine that complexity in its fullness. The goal in looking through all this data is to kind of put a few numbers behind the mysteries of life, and as that occurred to me, it also occurred to me that a new tagline for OkCupid would be making the ineffable totally effable. So there.